Okay, we're doing this again, I guess. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Oh boy, where do I begin? Clifford, the Big Red Dog is a 2021 film that was released in theaters. It may also be on some streaming service. I don't know. Who cares, honestly? This is based on the children's book and cartoons back in the day. I'm not somebody really that grew up on Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Like, I was aware of it. I saw it as a kid, but it wasn't something that I religiously watched and I grew up on to the point where I'm like, oh man, this is such a classic, close to my heartstrings type of a property. So it's not like I'm coming in with some bias. It's directed by Walt Becker. And the plot. The plot is we meet Emily, who got a scholarship to some private school, so of course she has no friends. Of course she's being bullied by the popular girl there. I know that this happens to kids. I know that there are tons of kids who get bullied, feel like they're alone, and don't have as many friends. But I feel like every kids film, every movie about a kid, they're all like this. Every single one of them. I've seen so many films with kids who are bullied and are alone and have no friends and are considered losers. And it's like, I know you're trying to make them relatable to anyone that could be in a similar situation, but just once, it'd be nice to have a girl or even a boy who just is maybe mid-level of popularity. They don't have to be the biggest, most popular person in the school, but can they have a couple of friends, maybe? Holy crap, man, the cliches going on here. But back to Emily. She, like I said, is a loner. She stumbles across this tent, it's like a zoo tent, I don't even know, but she finds this little red dog, this little horrible CGI red dog, Clifford, who's supposed to be cute and adorable and cuddly, but he really just comes across as weird, creepy, non-real like moving around CGI thing. And then her great big love for this dog gives it magical powers, I guess, to grow big overnight. And so the whole movie is Emily and her uncle, Casey, dealing with this big red dog, running around New York, trying to keep it safe from this lifeguard or life something corporation that once they find out about the dog, they want the dog. Huh? What? Yeah, this movie sucks, guys. It sucks. It sucks. If you're, I'll say about 6 years old, you will probably enjoy this movie. And that's a fair assessment. That's me being as objective as possible. If you're 6 years old or younger, you're going to have fun with this movie. But if you're any older than that, if you just turned 7, you're going to say, this movie's dumb. This movie doesn't make any sense. I didn't realize it until the very, very end of the movie how much more this would have made sense as a cartoon, which I know it's already been a cartoon. I know it was a show. I know it's had some animated movies, I think. But I'm talking about this one in particular. Doing it in live action, I don't think makes sense. Again, it's for kids. But there's so much about this writing, so much about these characters that don't work in live action. This premise doesn't work in live action. And this would have been much better as an animated movie, but even if the same script for an animated movie, it still would have some issues. Like I already mentioned with the Emily character, the actress is good. I will say that. This little girl, she's cute, She's nice, she's likable, she pulls off that at least. I remember seeing her in the Christmas Chronicles movies. I think that's what it's called. The one where Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus. And her mother is played by Sienna Gulleroy, who I instantly at least recognized to the point where I said, okay, she looks familiar. And then I realized that she played Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil movies, like the old Resident Evil movies, with Mila Jovovich. So that's just such a weird, like, I haven't seen her since that. Okay. She has to go away, though, for some job opportunity or whatever, so she brings in her brother, Uncle Casey, who is played by Jack Whitehall. Now, I don't know who Jack Whitehall is. I tried looking him up. I see that he's been in a few things, and I think people probably do know him, but I couldn't stand him in this film. His introduction, he's just your cliched, I'm the brother who's homeless, who's not responsible, who doesn't have his life together, he's all over the place, and he's overly goofy and overly over the top. But the problem is that this actor, I don't think, can pull this off. I don't think he can pull off the lovable, likable, goofy character, like when he's stumbling and fumbling around and just doing things that normal people wouldn't do. I think only certain comedic actors can pull this off. I could totally see a Jim Carrey, and I know that's the go-to because of that high level energy, but even Kevin Hart, who I don't like, really. It's the same shtick over and over again. At least he has the charisma and the energy to pull off a character like that. This guy just seems so subdued. Like, he's written to be goofy, and he has some goofy moments, but when he's delivering his lines, when he's speaking, he just isn't believable as this funny type character. It's like they tried, I guess, but it just was not working, and he's in the majority of this film. So I have no choice but to notice that. Before I get to this big goddamn dog, let me talk about some of the other actors who I couldn't believe was in this film. Talking about Horatio Sands, which that's a comedian that I used to see back in the day, but he's here. Also, David Alan Grier plays the super of their apartment, and this is another actor who, man, back in the day, hilarious, been in some great comedies, some great stuff, and Living Color. It's just, I don't know, maybe he's completely content and fine with being in a film like this, but alright. I was more sad, though, to see Rosie Perez in, like, one scene in this film. I just saw her in Birds of Prey. What the hell is she doing in a movie like this? Wow. Kenan Thompson, I just talked about you, dude. In the Home Sweet Home Alone remake, you were just in that piece of crap film. Why are you in the same weekend in another crappy kids movie? What's going on, Kenan? Do you have too much free time in your off season of SNL? Tony Hale plays this villain, this over-the-top, goofy villain. From scene one, you knew that this guy was going to be a one-note villain. He's the head of this lifeguard corporation, like I said. They're doing experiments on animals and mutate them into being bigger, or I don't even really understand what they were doing. It's so weird. I'm sitting there thinking, is this legal? Like, they're in the middle of the city experimenting on animals? I don't think this would really be going down. But of course, when he sees the big red dog in pictures and videos all across town, his first thought is, oh, we can use this dog. We can be evil. It's just, people's reactions to this dog is so unbelievable, so unrealistic, so cartoony. I know it's a kid's film. I know it's based on a cartoon, but this should not have been live action, because nobody in this movie acts like a rational and normal human being. Okay, let's talk about Clifford, shall we? So the first scene when Clifford is a little puppy, a little red puppy, it's just, he looks so fake. The CGI is bad. It's bad. It's bad. I don't know what the budget is on this movie. I can't imagine that it's all that big. But whatever budget, whatever money that they do have, you would think they should have had enough money to make this damn dog look better. It's the only CGI effect. It's the only big effect that you have. I don't understand how it looks this fake. This movie, quality wise, budget wise, and even the way it's shot and the very plain. I've never seen New York look so plain, look so boring, look so uninteresting than I do in this movie. But filmmaking aside, which is a big part, but the CGI on this dog looks terrible. This is a direct-to-DVD film. Then, when Clifford is big and he's huge, and you're seeing all these scenes where he's just being a dog, but he's big, and so he's knocking stuff over, he's breaking things, and they have all this goofiness of them trying to hide Clifford from David Allen Greer, or them outside, and at first nobody notices him, but then they do, and then they're running around, and they're having to run away from the people in the suits, and the scenes where they're fighting the people in the suits, and this is the definition of cornball. Corny, cheesy. Kids movies, just because you're writing and making a kids film doesn't automatically mean dumb. Doesn't automatically mean, oh, we don't have any sort of intelligence behind anything going on. Like, no, you can still try. Being a kids movie just means don't swear and don't do lewd and crude things, but it can still be a smart script. It can still have something a lot better to say than the whole ending of this film and the wrap up of how this comes together. I'm not going to give it away because spoilers are very pivotal to reviews and nobody wants to hear that, right? But the wrap up of this film shows how lazily slapped together all of this was, how much none of this makes sense at all. I wanted to feel bad for this dog or feel a connection to this dog, but looking at its lifeless CGI eyes, I didn't care about anything going on screen. I know I'm a grown-ass man, so I know some people might think that my opinion doesn't mean any crap, but hey, I have to be honest. I can't sit here and pretend like, oh, it's harmless. It's just a movie. It's just this. It's just that. Because they're expecting people to go to a theater during a time where the world is what it is and spend the type of movie theater money. No. No, no, no. I refuse.
Man, this some old bullshit.
Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you decided to watch Clifford the Big Red Dog. Look, maybe you have kids, maybe they loved it, and maybe you were glad for about an hour and a half you were able to have your kids distracted, and you don't have to do anything as a parent. In that case, I don't blame you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.